It's me again, Wayne, Tings on Wheels. Today, it's bodywork time. Come on. My oh my, look at the state of that. It took a knock to the side. The bumper got caught as well. Many people would change this wing for a new one, but when second-hand ones are going for north of £250, I think I'll take my chances trying to fix this one. I've got nothing to lose. So I have this hydraulic ram, which works the same as a car jack. The oil feed comes out and goes into this small cylinder. The idea is to pump it, and then the end will come out with a force of up to 10 tons. Not to be sniffed at. I plan to position it inside the wheel well, placing a base on the chassis, and then hopefully we can push this part of the wing out. But before we start, we may as well pull out what we can by hand. It makes sense. Now, there isn't a right or wrong way to do this. I'm not a body man, but I've picked up a few tricks along the way. So let's get it. Here we go with the ram. Let's see what we get. As you can see here, the metal's got a kind of memory. It will always want to return back to its previous form. But we'll get it pushed out, bit by bit. It's taking shape. Another angle showing the metal returning. Massaging it back out, bit by bit. I needed to apply a bit of downward pressure on the wing just to get it to meet the side skirt a little bit better. Now check out this little contraption I've come up with. Some vice grips, a torque wrench, and some spring compressors. This is to bring that wing down like I just said. It almost looks like it needs to shunt forward and come down a bit. Let's see how we get on. Next time I'll invest in some ratchet spanners to make this job a little bit quicker. But we're rolling. Bit more ram action just to push the wing forward. Hammer time. Let's get it. Now most professionals would have proper tools. I've got the bodyworking hammer, and I'm using a metal coupler from the press kit. Bit more downwards action. Cool, what am I thinking? Anyway, more hammering. We want to use minimal amounts of filler as we can. These little vice grips came in handy just to straighten up the wing edge. And more hammering. The more time you put in here, the less time you'll put in filler in. Now with the wing removed, we can address this high spot. It was obstructed by the chassis in the car, so it needed to come off. Pretty self-explanatory, but this was sitting prouder than the rest of the wing. No amount of filler would sort this, but let's beat it down. As you can see, it's a lot lower now. Still a little bit more massaging to do. So back out with the metal coupler. And we'll tap it from the other side. Let's ride. Well, look at that. 100 times better than before. We're making progress. Oh yeah. Now I want to contain my sanding to a certain area. So I'm going to mark it out so I've got a bit of a visual representation of where I need to stay within. Nice drill attachment with some 80 grit sandpaper. Makes light work of this paint. Time lapse, time lapse. I can assure you it took a lot longer in real time. The sanding reveals the high spots and the low spots in the metal. This is where the layer of filler will go to smooth things out. Too thick and you'll risk it cracking out. Out with a big boy body filler, or as Americans like to call it, Bondo. Pass me the Bondo. We mix up a pea-sized amount of hardener with the filler, and then you've got about 15 minutes to get this on. So let's do this. Like ice in a cake. Not that I've ever done that before. I eat the cake. I don't make it. So now we need to knock this back, retaining a somewhat factory finish and factory shape. Out with the 80 grit and a rubbing block. This gives you a flatter result than doing by hand. We don't want any waves or ripples in our finish. No sir. Just gonna mask off the side skirt. No point putting scratch marks in a panel that doesn't need any work. We're not about that. Work smarter, not harder. Back to it. In the words of the R&B singer Cassie, we got a long way to go. But this 80 grit will make light work of this filler. Now I'm going to clip the bumper back in. You'll soon see why. Ah, what's he up to now, eh? Well, here, I'm going to make a tool. I mean, what's the point in buying stuff when I've got the equipment here to make it myself? Check it. Remember, measure twice, cut once. I probably could have gone on Amazon and bought this tool. This is a little hack, just to make sure I can get the best finish I can with that wheel arch. And most of you that know me know I like to make stuff. Keeps the mind fresh and active. As I said before with the channel, we're going to make use of stuff we already have kicking around. It's not about destroying the planet. See the big boy body filler there? You lot must have thought I was joking. Highly recommend it, to be honest. Really easy to sand, good finish. I know a lot of you are probably saying this time would have been better spent elsewhere, but I can use this tool on future projects. It's never a waste. So we got the pencil in, and the screws will act as a standoff. All will become clear, and we can draw a line perfectly parallel with the surface below it. So I'm going to make a marking. This follows the contour of the wheel arch on the bumper, so it needs to follow through to the wing and back into the side skirt. Now, my little homemade tool. The two wing nuts or screws will run along the inside of the arch, and the pencil line will be perfectly parallel with it. giving us a nice, clean, curved line. Let's get it. Now we're gonna have to repeat this process a few times in order to refine the finish before paint. Look at that. Perfect blend into the side skirt. So now we're going to use this fine line tape. This will allow us to see the line easier to sand. And it will also act as a hard edge, keeping its shape and form. Much more versatile than masking tape. And onward with the sanding. You see, it looked like a thick layer before, but most of it is getting taken away. Blended seamlessly into the original bodywork. That's how we do. As you can see, that blue fine line tape acting as a stop so we don't ruin the arch line. Even though the bumper's marked up, I'm still gonna mask it off. Another round of body filler. Big boy. This is just filling in some of the low spots that I didn't catch on the first time round. Now we're stepping down a grade of sandpaper now as we refine the finish even further. Slapping the mask on a bit late, but I don't need to be breathing in that. As we continue refinement of the wing, we can now start masking up, ready for a layer of primer. Always mask off what you can, as overspray will find its way everywhere. Now don't forget to clean your surface before you paint. This stuff removes any silicone or grease from the surface. We need that primer to bite in hard. Now we're into it. Priming time. I've used a high build primer. That way it'll fill in any small imperfections, any small scratches, or any pinholes. This bumper needs some treatment too. So we're going to key it up and use some filler glaze to fill in the scratches. We don't need to go overboard with big boy body filler, as this is just surface damage. Back with the cleaner. Cleanliness is close to godliness. I said it before, and I'll say it again. Same method, 1 part filler and another part hardener, and we lash it on. You don't want to go overboard, otherwise you'll be sanding for a long time, and that's a waste of time. Ready for another coat of primer. Looking good if I do say so myself. Now I've got a can of satin black paint. This is used as a guide coat. So when we sand back, if there's any black paint left, that means we got a low spot. And then we need to fill, sand, and repeat until it's perfect. And you know it's gonna be perfect, right? And we repeat the process over and over again. Check it. Cheese. Well, I hope you enjoyed that one, because the next one, we're going to finish off that bodywork. So, if you like the video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bless up.